Hi, this is Godsend Medicine, as you can see from the title, and today I'm going to be talking about reviews, the review scores and the reviews for PES 2016. Obviously this is going off the back of what I think about PES 2016, and this is further going off the back of the 4 seasons of Master League that I've showed, with all the bits that I've showed. Once again I reiterate the point that I have played a tremendous amount of PES 2016, and I've done that on superstar difficulty. Indeed, the backdrop to this little audio that I'm doing now is a superstar difficulty match. It is the first season of the league campaign in which side I built, starting with the default Master League side, got to the playoff final. I've got 3 matches where I can put my audio on for reviews, and I think I might need it, so hopefully that'll be the case, because there's some interesting footage coming up in the backdrop as I speak. Right, I'm going to take myself over to my laptop now, and I pulled up the review scores for Metacritic, and because what you get nicely there is you get a nice bit where you get the professional critique reviews to look at, and some of the scores that you got for this game. So if I'm going to put the link up to this page, so if you click the link, you'll be able to read what I'm reading you. And I've got a little bit from the Daily Telegraph, which is a newspaper. Why do newspapers review video games? Well, you probably see that. You'll add 2 and 2 and make the connection, as I did. The critique score here on Metacritic for Telegraph is 100. I'm guessing 100 out of 100. I'm guessing Metacritic uses a review score going up to 100. So Telegraph. The football here is unpredictable and undefinable. Matches take on their own personality, depending on who is playing, both on the pitch and behind the controller. You are given enough control and room for expression that you don't need to conform to best practice. Instead, you need to play to your and your team's strengths, negating the opponents and managing the tempo of the game. Well, I can tell you now that that's bollocks. And the footage on my YouTube channel shows that's bollocks, because the 65th minute games show that all the teams play the same fucking way. They're very aggressive, and you cannot control the tempo of the game. Indeed, you're going to see that yeah, with the 3 matches that I've got as a backdrop, you will see that. So I'm going to click read full review. I don't read newspapers, I don't buy them, I don't bother reading them online, and I think that newspapers and games reviews are just like, it's like me trying to review wine. I know sod all about it, other than, I can get drunk on the stuff. Some of it I like and some of it I don't. That's what I know about wine, give me a nice pint of beer. Anyway, so here we are, newspapers and the review, and it says, often when talking about football games you'll find yourself explaining how matches tend to pan out, about which areas the game focus. In this year's PES, about retaining possession, neat interplay, pace, power, through balls, wing play. The brilliant thing about PES 2016 is that it can be about all of those things and none of them. The football here is unpredictable and undefinable. Matches take on their own personality, depending on who is playing, both on the pitch and behind the controller. You are given enough control and room for expression that you don't need to conform to best practice. Instead, you need to play to your and your team's strengths, negating the opponents and managing the tempo of the game. If you're a less glamorous team with limited talents, maybe you'll resort to long balls towards your hefty number 9, roughing it up in the midfield and disrupting the flow of more illustrious opposition. If you're technically more gifted, you'll stretch opponents with neat passing and dribbling to tire them out. It works both ways. If you're up against an average team with a superstar winger, you can double up defence and cut off supply lines. Crowd out lone strikers or pack the defence against fearsome forward line. Tactics and management have never been as important in a football game, and whatever approach you take, PES 2016 is always a pleasure to play, consistently surprising and constantly thrilling. Explaining why it's so good is tricky, not because its mechanics aren't transparent, quite the opposite, but because PES is made up of dozens of technical triumphs. Nothing so exciting it can go on the back of the box, but a cumulative effort that makes everything tick on the pitch. If you have to zone in on anything specific, though, it is the physics and AI. Everything feels entirely independent and dynamic, a potentially risky strategy given that open-ended physics can often result in comical, head-over-heels disasters, but here it feels natural and correct. Jostling for the ball is as much about positioning yourself as it is about timing your button presses, with players able to shuffle away from minimal contact. The ball, meanwhile, bobbles convincingly off knees and ankles when players come together. You need to be smart about charging into challenges, as you have no idea where that ball could end up if you're simply clattering into an opponent. Instead, it's about watching and manoeuvring, waiting for a heavy touch and moving your body in to nick the ball away clean. It's not just in the midfield scraps either. Shots can cannon anywhere, even if it's smacking off the bar and then off the back of the keeper's head. Passes need to be shaped and considered. Crosses can cause chaos, with defenders able to nudge forwards trying to attack the ball to knock them off balance, but attackers free to move into more open space. There are no elastic bands tying markers to your striker or gravitational pull towards the goalkeeper, and if there is any sneaky automation in place to balance out attack and defence, it's brilliantly obfuscated. The feeling then is one of complete control mixed with the clobbering chaos of football itself. You can't account for unlucky bounces, but everything else feels under your influence, aided by a simple control system. The input delay on some passes from last year's game has also been eradicated. This gives an excellent sense of moment to rhythm, with each individual battle having its own character. This is bolstered by players having their own identity. While PES Productions puts the expected focus on superstars playing like their real-life counterparts, football fans will recognise Iron Robben's spring-heeled zip or Cristiano Ronaldo's preening lope from a mile off. The individuality extends to each player's skill set. You have to consider what type of player you are using or facing up to across the whole pitch. You know when you're unlikely to win an aerial duel or battle of strength with Vincent Kompany, but maybe you can take advantage of his average pace and tendency to step up early to nick the ball around him. Players like Ronaldo, Messi and Neymar seem to have the ball surgically attached to their feet, make them almost unplayable. But you need to figure out making a mucking puddle of this. But you need to figure them out as best you can, doubling up and even dabbling in the dark arts of tactical fouling. There's a lot more to this. I think you get the general idea. I'm going to put the link up.
He just took too long to make his mind up. What a big opportunity missed there.
I think what I'm going to do after making a mess of that is I'm not going to bother reading them all out. But I think what we can do is break it down and sort of discuss why they might have written what they've written. I don't think it's rocket science. You know my views. My views are that reviews act like adverts, and if you make a game sound brilliant, you will influence people. That's not rocket science at all. And if you are gaming press, your audience is already interested in games. I don't know about you, but I tend to read reviews of games that I'm interested in buying. So I would read a review of PES, which I did, because I was interested in buying it. Oh, it's the best PES ever. It's, fantastic. It's wonderful. I mean, you get the idea from all the praise. I'm going to read the little headline here from God is a Geek, which is underneath the Telegraph one. An utterly essential purchase. PES 2016 is the best there is, and the best there's been in a very long time. IGN underneath that. Hand on heart, I can't remember ever being so consistently thrilled, surprised and delighted by a football game before. IGN Italia. PES 2016 is a stunning football simulation with more animations, better controls and some incredible player 3D models. It is a no-brainer for every football enthusiast out there. Gaming Age. I'm glad I had the chance to check out PES 2016, as it would have flown completely under my radar during this busy video game time of year. I can say I will no longer be an exclusive FIFA player and already have recommended some friends to check out Pro Evolution Soccer. Play UK. We would like some improvements to modes and presentation, but the on-pitch action is of such stellar quality that PES 2016 remains the champion. PlayStation Official Magazine Australia. So it's official, last year's game wasn't a fluke. PES really is back to where it belongs, at the top of the league. PlayStation Official Magazine UK. Works as both an arcade kickabout and a tactically broad sim. PS4's best footy game yet. Video Gamer. None of these problems keep PES 2016 from being the greatest football game of all time. The question is no longer whether PES can catch FIFA, and in truth hasn't been for a while. Instead, it's the other way around, and may well be for years. Digitally downloaded. Meanwhile, PES is the best football game for people who love the elegance, grace and flow of the sport. PES has always been good at that, and this year's edition, while only making subtle tweaks to the on-field engine, has done so effectively that it has become the definitive take on the sport. Gamer No. Konami's hard work has finally paid off. The gameplay feels more dynamic, precise, balanced than ever before. PES 2016 is a new high for the series and is arguably the best football game of the year. Let's hope for more of the same in the coming years. Push Square. PES 2016, while not being perfect, feels true to its title. It's an evolution. Hardcore Gamer. With individualized players, explosive tactical potential and unparalleled realism, PES 2016 redefines what a soccer game can be. PlayStation Universe. The football is sublime in PES 2016. There are small improvements made to other areas of the game, and some are still needed, but on the pitch the series is in title-winning form once again. We got this covered. A new physics system allows Pro Evolution Soccer 2016 to feel and play more like its real-life counterpart. Although this change results in a lack of foul calls, it complements a fantastic game that delivers a great feeling version of interactive soccer and builds upon what was the best soccer title ever made. Right, I'm coming to the end of the time that I've got to record dialogue for this audio. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give a little roundup basically. I'll put the link to Metacritic in, and I'm going to have to cut this short now. I shall have to see you next time, guys. So I'm going to have to do the rest of this video in the next one. I will be pulling apart some reviews though, but